Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, June 25th, 4:20 p.m., coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. So the market state, we're still in an uptrend since May 6th. The trend, the GROTECTION gauge, as always. We have market leaders in an uptrend with the bullish green arrow. S&P is still above the 21 EMA, same with the NASDAQ. So we have a bullish uptrend as well. Mid caps, we have at orange because it's just chopping around there, and then small caps back below the key moving averages. Same thing with the intermediate trend. S&P is above the 50, NASDAQ's above the 50, Dow's above the 50. And then finally, the long-term 200-day, everything's above that. So we have that with the bullish uptrend. So what happened today? Tight range day with tech rallying back, and I'll definitely show you a bunch of charts depicting that. 21 over 21, up 1.72% today. 17 stocks up, 1 neutral, and 3 down. The big 8 today up a hefty 2%, and I'll go over those charts later on this video. The Revere RG8 was only up 0.11%. The S&P up 0.39%, with the equal weighted RSP down 0.69%. The Qs up 1.14%, with the equal weighted up 0.4%. Dow down 0.75%, mid caps down 0.91%, small caps, Russell down 0.33%, and the 60/40 equities and bond up 0.18%, and GROTECTION is up about 0.79%. So getting into the inter-asset correlation. First up, the S&P 500. We had this nice base breakout, retest, undercut the 21 EMA, reclaim that, and then stage this next uptrend. Right now, we have 5 days sideways, which is exactly what we would have hoped for after being extended over 5% above the 50-day moving average. Correcting through time is so much better for us than correcting through price. And the same story goes for the Qs as well. Forming a 5-day flag here, still hasn't even touched the 21 EMA, undercut and reclaimed the 8 EMA so far. The Dow broke out with the power of 3 above the 821 and 50-day moving averages. So far, just retesting this breakout level. So completely normal action, and it's also on below average volume. Now that also, if you look at it, the 50-day is starting to turn up. Same with the shorter term MAs. Mid caps, kind of just building this volatility contraction pattern here. Still very sloppy, just chopping back above and below the 821 and 50-day moving averages. RS line remains in a downtrend. The Russell, same thing. RS line remains in a downtrend. We are building this. We are continuing to build the stage 1 base here, retesting this 2000 level and putting in a volatility contraction pattern. But this still probably needs more time. We probably need to come up here and then maybe chop sideways a little bit, maybe absorb some supply at the 2100 level, and then stage a breakout. VIX still very suppressed at 12.86, down about 3.5% today. Dollar, it is building this bullish pattern, so we definitely don't want to see the dollar break out too much, and as that would put a headwind on equities. Just looking at the weekly chart, just a huge range, and I mean, this could easily break out and stage a huge move if it decides to do that. Gold, still in this rectangle box pattern that I've been talking about. Buying or selling or shorting within this range will probably only cause frustration. So if you are looking to play gold, you could probably try a short under 210 and then long over 225. Those are the 2 key levels. Miners, a bit weaker than gold, back below the 821 and 50-day, but it's still just consolidating, so nothing too wrong with it. Silver, we had that super strong move on a gap, and then The next day we immediately failed and we're back below the 50. So definitely an ominous, some ominous price action here. On the weekly though, we still have pretty normal price action. This move up was on massive volume, and so far this digestion is on lower than average. So just continue to monitor that. It's not out of play. Bitcoin, yesterday we had a huge down move, and today we rallied back. Currently, Bitcoin's trading around 62,000. The space continues to build, so still quite normal price action as you see. This is the first contraction. This could be the second. So we probably need maybe another one or two contractions before this pattern is ready. Look at the weekly. Broke out this cup with handle, made a nice move, and now just building a secondary base here. Bonds, BND, forming this really nice shelf here. As rates come down, this should get moving. TLT, same thing. The 30-year living below all key moving averages, so that's good to see. Nice having rates come down is definitely a tailwind, unless we turn to a recessionary narrative. The 10-year, same thing, below the 258 and 21, hence the TLT. Building a nice shelf, and while this is building a bear flag. So onto the tail of the tape. Again, market states an uptrend. News today, consumer confidence came out, just a tiny bit higher than expected. Remember that the big piece of economic data for this week is PCE this Friday. Day count up 1, consolidation 4 to up 1, consolidation 5 as we build out this bull flag. Now we're 16 days above the 8 EMA, 17 days above the 21 EMA. As always, above the 8 and 21. Of course, our expectations are positive. We still have this short-term extended signal on, but we continue digesting sideways with the 50-day catching up. We'll likely take that off. Today's action, we opened up about 22 basis points, and we essentially based the entire day. I can probably show that on a chart here. Let's see. S&P. As you can see, we opened up and we just essentially maintained this range all day. Maybe a 30-minute will be better. Now that 5 minutes is definitely better to show that. Essentially build that range. Back to the tail of the tape. Sectors today, bond prices up with yields down. Tech, communications, and energy were green. Bitcoin and miners did well today as well, rallied back from yesterday's sell-off, as well as semis staged a rally today. Dollar was down today. Real estate, home builders, and utilities. Silver was down today. Oil, solar, and metals, materials. Today in the portfolio in GROTECTION, we doubled Meta, and I'll show that chart later on why we did that. We bought Uber and sold SRPT in our NVIDIA hedge. And so the bottom line, tight range with tech rallying back. So first, before I get into the 21/21, I'll just go over the Mag 7 as all of them essentially rallied. NVIDIA undercut the 21 EMA yesterday, gapped up, and closed above the 8. So definitely buyers stepping in. And we're up almost 1% actually after hours too. It's definitely a really strong move, which is why we close out the hedge. Apple broke out into all-time highs and now just building a bull flag. Extremely nice action here. Microsoft broke out of this base and just floating higher so far. I mean, as long as you have NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft trending higher at all-time highs, it's pretty hard for the S&P or the NASDAQ to do anything. They have a combined 10 trillion market cap, just those three names. Amazon is one we're watching really closely. It's flirting right at all-time highs. And with yesterday's reversal at that 192 level, that might clear out the last bits of supply. We're starting to tighten up here. Go on a 60-minute. We take out that high. We'll likely take a position. Tesla itself is staging a rally. After this big move up, it's really starting to build a nice little VCP here in tight action, but For us and our trend following purposes, we're not going to get interested until we at least get back above the 200-day moving average in this 200 level. Um, and then Google, another all-time high. Can't complain with that. Just extremely strong action. It might be this end up might be in the next $3 trillion company, which is just amazing to see. Meta, today we doubled our position. So when we took out yesterday's highs, that's when we added to it. What I'm thinking is where we have a cup with handle on the daily now. So when we take out that handle high around 514, we'll likely add another piece to it. I mean, just the cash cow and continues to do really well in the AI space as well. The 21/21, I'll just quickly go over all the charts from the biggest movers to the biggest losers. NVIDIA up 6.8% today, reclaimed the 8 and 21, the market leader. So this is definitely good to see that buyers stepped in. HIMS, after this gap up on the news of their GLP-1 drug, it's just been trending, just super strong stock. Pinterest, another high. After this gap up on earnings, it has formed a high handle, which we broke out of, and then formed another little shelf. Super strong action there. Bros, same thing. Gap up on earnings, formed this flag, broke out, and we definitely have a change in character here. Broke this down trend line, pulled back, and took out the highs. And that is what I call a change in character. As you can see, the earnings line on the weekly is accelerating as well. So definitely looking very favorable for this name. TMDX, we own this and grow. Continues to build out this high tight flag. Taking out 150 would be very favorable. Kava and GROTECTION as well. We've been holding this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks now. Just continue to trend along the 21 EMA. If we're able to, we would love to hold into the next earnings season and even add on to it. CrowdStrike. After earnings, we made new all-time highs, and it's just forming another shelf up here. Taking out these highs would be very favorable. Meta already talked about. We doubled it today, and we'll likely add on once we break the cup with handle. Elf, it's forming its own cup with handle here. It's a name that we're tracking really closely. Over 215, and we'd likely give that a go as well. Spotify is poking its head out here too. Historically, buying this name on strength has caused a lot of frustration, so we're just currently watching it right now. GEV, own this and grow. Nice action today, back above 180. Palantir, also building itself a cup with handle. Lilly, just trending along the 8. This is extremely strong action. Perfect post breakout action. MU had that harsh pullback when the video pullback, but finding support at the 21 EMA and finding a bit of resistance at the 8. Tomorrow we have earnings, so we'll see how that goes. Uber, we took a starter today through this little shelf. RS line is starting to turn back up, and this is definitely a leader with 99% 2024 estimates and 2025 65% for 2025. Apple, talked about that, new all-time highs, bull flag. NRGU, energies finding some relative strength with us breaking this downtrend line and same with the RS line breaking the downtrend line. Coherent, another one of these earnings gappers, just no, actually no, this is not caused by earnings gapper, but we did gap up here on strong action and we're just drifting. SARK with ARK-K extremely weak, just trending below the 200, 50, 8 and 21. We just have ARK on the watch just in case we want to find a hedge that can potentially give us extra alpha. First Solar, huge breakout into new highs, but we found resistance at the previous all-time high so far. And I mean, after this powerful move, some digestion is completely normal. So just still watching this. This can form this range here between 250 and 300 and perhaps take out those highs. And then SRPT, we decided to get rid of it today. Um, just breaking down from the inside day it formed yesterday. So rather step out the way. Don't want to speculate with losses. We can always get back in. And so that wraps up the 21 over 21 as well as the video. Let me bring up this. And that's going to wrap it. As always, we would like to hear from you. My email is ted@revereasset.com. And then you can reach out to Dan and Don at revereasset.com. Our phone is 855 Real Wealth, and that is 855-732-5932. And we named our flagship portfolio GROTECTION. So what that means is we want to participate when the market is in an uptrend and protect your money when we're in a downtrend in the market. As always, if you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that said, I will wrap up for Tuesday, June 25th. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening and have a great day.